What do you need to gain new customers? Well, you need to build an online empire. This starts with building an engaging landing page followed by a sales page. These pages are kind of similar because both encourage customers to complete a specific task, but there are a few differences. A landing page informs the visitor, whereas a sales page tries to get them to buy. A landing page is more of a lead generator, whereas a sales page is trying to convert those leads into customers. Finally, a landing page is used to collect names and email addresses, while a sales page has elements like testimonials, the cost of the product, features, and benefits, so that the customers can make an informed purchasing decision. Now, these days, some brands are getting creative and they're actually combining the two so that the landing page and the sales page are the same thing. At EngageBay, we've tried this ourselves. Sometimes this approach ends up being too much and it hurts the user experience, but if you do it properly, it can actually make the experience a lot more seamless and efficient for the user because everything they could possibly need is all on one page. A lot of this comes down to trial and error, but before you get going, let's talk about how you can create a high converting sales page. If you want your sales page to convert, there are a few things you won't want to forget. First, you need to start with a catchy headline because this is the first opportunity to really grab their attention. Think about it. If users won't even pay attention to your headline, what are the odds that they're actually going to click through to the page and read the whole thing? Within EngageBay's landing page builder, you can actually use our pre-built templates and pre-written headlines so that you don't have to start from scratch. But of course, if you want to, that's always an option. Next, your page needs to include pain points. It might sound kind of mean, but you really need to hit the customers where it hurts. Identify their pain points and then get on their level to empathize with them. We recommend using the PAS framework. P stands for problem, A stands for agitation, which means you talk about the problem and how it's hurting them, and S stands for solution, where you explain how your product or service can make all of their problems go away. Next, you want to be sure that you talk about not just the features, but also the benefits. If you simply list out features of your product or service, the user is likely to read that and go, "What's in it for me?" But when you talk about the benefits, you better explain why they really need your product and how it's going to help them. Next up, an FAQ or frequently asked questions section can be incredibly helpful because it's going to give people more information on the spot and it might even answer questions that they didn't even know they had. Then you need a CTA or a call to action. This usually comes in the form of a button where it'll say something like "Buy now." A CTA is going to increase your conversions because it literally tells the user what you want them to do next. Without that, your conversion rate is going to go way down. Within EngageBay's landing page builder, you have all sorts of CTA options to choose from depending on the purpose of the page and what types of conversions you're trying to trigger. If you pay close attention, a lot of big name brands are doing a really good job of building convincing sales and landing pages. Hotjar is one example. They make a great case for their tool because they point blank tell their users, better understand what people need from you. They really describe how they can help their users and the benefits that they offer, as opposed to just rattling off the features of the tool. Ruby, which is a virtual customer service provider for businesses, is another great example. Their page is both visually appealing but also very convincing, even though they keep things short and sweet. Sometimes they'll use two CTAs. One allows the user to buy and the other allows them to get in touch with the Ruby sales rep. Either way, they're moving the relationship forward. Now that you know what makes a quality sales page, let's talk a little more specifically about how you can get it to convert. Tip number 1, understand your target audience. You need to know everything about the buyer persona. Who are they? What are their expectations? What will they ideally get out of your product or service? And importantly, how will you provide that? You might consider collecting data through customer surveys, web analytics, social media channels, and online research. Number 2, create a value proposition. This is a statement that solves your customers' problems, offering your product or service as the solution. Remember what we said earlier: problem, agitation, solution. Tip number 3, determine the length of your sales page. For instance, are you going to want something more long form or short form? If you're a newer brand and people aren't yet familiar with you, long form can be more beneficial because it gives them all of the information that they need to know. Tip number 4, write interesting headings and subheadings. Like I mentioned, headings are the first impression, and it's what users use to decide whether or not they want to visit the page. Your headings should always be crisp, clean, and intriguing. Better yet, include 2 to 3 subheadings to better organize your content. Tip number 5, minimize distractions. The focus should be on the product, so anything on the page that doesn't have to do with that should be eliminated. Tip number 6, consider including multiple CTAs. The longer your sales page is, the more CTAs you're going to need because the user has to scroll more. You never want them to have to scroll too far without some sort of CTA. A sales page doesn't need to be fancy. At the end of the day, the goal is to help the user make an informed decision about purchasing your product or service. And remember, like EngageBay, you can combine your sales page and landing page if you follow all of the tips we covered in this video. You're going to need something reliable and affordable to help you design a high-converting sales or landing page. That's where EngageBay comes in. We're an all-in-one CRM suite with a robust set of tools that includes the landing page builder that you need for just $1 a day. On top of that, we have plenty of valuable content on YouTube that's going to show you exactly how you can leverage our landing page builder to get more conversions. Sign up today and let us know what you think. Before you leave this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up if you found it helpful and subscribe to our channel so you never miss our new content.